It is Tecmo Tuesday, and it is time for the divisional playoffs. Playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah. Starting off with Raiders Broncos, then we'll be moving on to the Giants Cowboys game, Bills and Dolphins, and then Vikings and 49ers. Because I've been eliminated as the Colts, I will be once again just doing commentary as we simulate these games. Raiders and Broncos, one of the old rivalries, the old AFL rivalries. These teams do not like each other. They had some classics, many of which I was not around for. And, you know, I've said before, I'm a Raiders fan. And so it was doubly painful to be eliminated at the hands of the Raiders. So for those of you, you know, well, the football fans will have recognized the little playoffs reference that I did earlier. That was of course the great Jim Mora, who provided that soundbite back in the day during the playoff season of, I don't know, it was 2000, 2001, something like that. I actually prefer, I mean, that's a classic, but I actually prefer some of his Saints rants a little bit more. I particularly like the one where he said that the team couldn't do anything diddly-poo offensively. Went on and on about how they got their asses kicked. He was swearing left and right. He was pissed. It was funny because it was like and there's a touchdown for the Raiders. I think it's Willie Gault. Yep. He wasn't. His tone was, you know, it was like he wasn't loud, but he was definitely projecting anger in his tone. It was great. That was my favorite Jim Mora soundbite. Also, when he lashed out at the media for not having a clue despite their criticisms. And Vance Johnson goes down. This is not a good start for the Broncos. They're starting second receiver, not to mention kickoff and punt returner getting hurt, and this is right after a touchdown that they gave up. Haven't even snapped the ball offensively yet. Until just now, but I mean, like, you know, all that shit that happened to him before. There's a nice catch there in coverage. You know, and despite the fact that I was eliminated by the Raiders and, you know, got beat by them twice this season, and, you know, it does sting, I'm still rooting for them to win these games. You know, it's my team. So, you know, go Raiders. I mean, it's Tecmo. It's not. This isn't going to. This isn't going. I'm not going to lose any sleep over, you know, the outcome of these games. Going one way or the other. I just want to see some entertaining games, and you know, I because of the fact that there was the main reason why I'm even watching all these is just because you know. Well, it kind of goes back to a couple of things. One is that, you know, so much time was put into the season and a lot was invested. I want to see the really important games play out. And it's also, I mean, this is what I would do when I played Tecmo with my stepdad. He was really the guy that got me into football. Oh, fumble! And Raiders maintain possession. Wow. So my stepdad was, you know, he was kind of my guru with football. And even though I was the video game guy, he was the one that was playing Tecmo before I was. And Tecmo was kind of what got me into football in general, and the Raiders in particular. That's why it's funny, because Tecmo was the reason why I'm a Raiders fan. But when we played Tecmo, and then later on Madden, we would always play, and look at this, Winder subbing in for Johnson with the big return. Really making his presence felt. Oh, and look at that. Lionel Washington makes the pick right after that big return. Wow. So anyway, when my stepdad and I would play these seasons, we would always play... Well, when we started, we were playing the CPU, but then when it came to, you know, apparently the computer was too easy, we started playing as each other's opponents. So we would play every game. He was a Giants fan. He is a Giants fan. So, you know, he would play as the Giants, and I would play as the Raiders, and then I would also play as all the Giants opponents. He would play as all the Raiders opponents, and then, you know, and win, lose, no matter what happened, even if neither of us made the playoffs, then we would also play every playoff game, and then we would just, you know, decide for ourselves who, you know, who we would rather play as. In fact, because I was, well, how we would work it is, because my team was an AFC team, whenever there was an AFC game, I would make the choice of who I would rather play as. You know, because it would, you know, it would dictate. I mean, if I, like, for example, if the Patriots were, you know, the biggest threat in the AFC, I would play as the opponent so that I could get them, I could knock them out. But, you know, we would always do all the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So that's kind of what I'm in the spirit of that. I'm doing that here too. And it's like, on top of it, you know, it's kind of nice, as much as, you know, as much as it was painful to lose in the first round of the playoffs after all the work that was put into it. It's still nice to kind of decompress and take a step back, and for the next couple weeks until the next season rolls around. Here's Bo. So these Broncos are catching up to him, though. You know, it's like sometimes Jackson is just off to the races. Believe me, I've seen it playing as the Colts. They have no defenders. I have no defenders like these guys that can catch up to Bo Jackson or Marcus Allen for that matter. So yeah, I will be doing another season, but I'm not positive on, you know, what team I'm gonna play as or anything like that. I'm kind of it's up in the air. I'm mulling over some options, but I don't wanna. I just wanna take a breather from it, you know, and just enjoy these games. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Winder taking another kickoff return, and he's making guys miss. He got a second return that he did pretty well with. They might want to think about putting him in there full time. Sewell. I wonder if he's related to Penei Sewell. He's the offensive lineman that just got drafted by the Lions. Second half, and Winder gets another crack at the return, and he takes it almost to midfield. I mean, I'm sure the short kick helped out there. I remember the first, you know, this is, you know, Tecmo, like I said, was around the time I was getting into football. 92 was the first season that I watched, you know, and really paid attention to what was going on. And then, so that was my first, I'll never forget it too. So the first game that I ever watched as a Raiders fan, watching the Raiders play, was a Sunday night game against the Broncos. And of course, you know, Elway with his fucking, he's the comeback king back in the day. He always had these big fourth quarter comebacks, and sure enough, he had a game-winning drive at the end of the game, and I, you know, saw them, I had to watch my team lose. And then they actually got off to a rough start that season. But I do remember, another thing I'll never forget is, you know, the first time I saw the Raiders win was against my stepdad's Giants. So it was funny. You know, it was I don't know, it was a fairly satisfying you know, victory. Well, it was very satisfying, but it was nice to it was cool to see that happen while we were both watching our respective teams play against each other. And then it was the season 2 that the Bills had the largest comeback ever in the playoffs against Houston. And I'll never forget it. This is something that we reference all the time. You know, it was 28-3 Houston at the half, and they actually scored another touchdown to make it even worse. But I remember it was 28-3, and it was halftime, and my stepdad said, you know, like, ah, this game's over. And me being a 9-year-old, impressive. Oh my God, the Broncos are just, you know, you can pretty much call, you know, get a MASH unit for them because they just keep getting hurt. Anyway, you know, I'm 9 years old. I'm not. You know, I've been watching football for the entirety of you know, just like a full regular season, and I'm over here saying, no, they could come back. It could happen. And he's like, what are you talking? They're not gonna come back. Not only did they give up another touchdown, but they actually did come back. It was history in the making, and it was like it still got reference to this day. Every so often we talk about that game. And then the following season, 93, and the Broncos cannot get on the board. The following season, 93, was the first year that I saw the Raiders get to the playoffs. And the first playoff game was against the Broncos. So it's kind of funny that this is a Raiders-Broncos game in the playoffs. Marcus making his presence felt. I got a sneeze coming. I feel like I'm gonna just throw a sneeze down here at any moment. But it's like in the chamber. It's not really on the forefront. I'm just feeling that tickle, you know? This is a huge drive here. Oh, and it ends up going to Ethan Horton. Here's a who. And that was it right there. I mean, if they would have held them to a field goal there, and it would have only been 13-0, going into the fourth quarter, there's still been time to score with two. Instead of a 2-possession game, it's a 3-possession game, and it's not looking good here for the Broncos. Oh my God, boy, Winder, who's had a pretty good day in the return game, it did not get out of that one. Look, they're throwing a fucking reverse here in the end zone, and there's gonna be a safety. Jesus Christ, what a dumb call that was. On the 1-yard line, you you run a reverse. And the Raiders are looking to put this one away here. So aside from the fact that, you know, the Raiders are my team and everything like that, that's not the only reason why I'm rooting for them here. It's the age-old, you know, when the team, a lot of times you root for the team that beat you in the playoffs, so that, you know, it's like it justifies your own loss a little bit. And there's another touchdown. They're just pouring it on. You know, it's like you can kind of hold your head up a little bit and say, hey, you know, we got beat by the team that went and won the whole fucking thing, so no shame there. And it's, you know, now it's, you know, it's like I'm over here. And a callback to the whole comeback thing from the Bills game where I actually called it. It's pretty sure it's safe to say at this point that the game is over and the Raiders will be going to the AFC Championship to play either the Bills or the Dolphins. if it's the Bills, then that'll be it'll be funny because that would actually be the real AFC Championship that took place of the year that this game is based off of. Broncos stay alive here. They may not. They may be able to put one in there to prevent a shutout. But they're gonna do that reverse again. You know, like that. Yeah, that play that got you safety, and that would have again. You lost 2 yards on that play, running that play again. So that play has not been going well, working for the Broncos, and neither did that one. As Howie Long gets a sack. Yeah, it doesn't help when you're. You know, you got guys getting hurt. The turning point of the game was the very beginning. I mean, it was just, it was all Raiders right away, and they never looked back. Well, they are stubborn as a mule here, trying to get that reverse to work, and it just doesn't work. They always lose 2 yards every time. Oh, flea flicker, this is a great place to try that. Where the hell was that going? And they do get a touchdown in the closing seconds to just to get a little bit of pride there. Close out the season with a touchdown. But they'll be moving out, and the Raiders will be moving on. And is for Mervin Fernandez gonna get an onside kick return for a touchdown? No, that's the end of it. So yeah, that was a massacre. I don't know if I'd say it was a massacre, but I mean it was definitely one-sided as hell. Not a lot of passing yards, but the Raiders did run all over them, and the Broncos didn't really move the ball too well in general. They didn't even hit triple digits in passing. I mean, neither did the Raiders, but they didn't hit, you know, only 36 yards rushing, and they ran it more than the Raiders did. Safety didn't help. You know, it was just a lot of things that didn't go well for the Broncos. So we move on to the NFC divisional playoff, Cowboys and Giants. Another divisional game. We were talking about it before that the 3 of the 4 games in this divisional round are games within divisional opponents. I mean, that's not why it's called the divisional round. I think it's because when they first had wild cards. Well, when they first had wild cards, did they call it the division? I think, was it called the divisional round or just the semifinals? I don't know. When there was they only had 4 teams used to get in the playoffs, and there was no wild card round. The wild card round became the wild card round when they expanded it to 5 teams. Then you have the 4 and 5 seeds play, where all the divisional teams were sat and waited, and I think that's why they call it the divisional round, because the divisional winners were the ones that did come out to play for the first time in that round. Not positive on that, but either way, we have Cowboys and Giants. Going back to my stepdad being a Giants fan. I like the Giants. We kind of root for each other's teams. Even though he never rooted for the Raiders early on when I watched him, because he was still hanging. He hated them back in the 70s and 80s, and that hung on to him for decades after. He did not like the way that they played, and I did. But especially in more recent years, and he kind of softened up on his stance on that, and we root for each other's teams. So I have a You know, I do like the Giants. I especially liked, you know, was behind them during their Super Bowl wins over the Patriots. Those were very satisfying, especially the first one, when they ended the undefeated streak. So the Giants, I mean, in this game, despite the fact that this came out in '91, and I think the rosters are up to date by a certain point of '91, this was basically these teams, the player attributes and the team, the quality of the teams were based off of the '90 season more than anything, and I guess what they projected perhaps the '91 season to look like. So the Giants are one of the better teams in this game, even though in '91 they ended up, you know, it was kind of like the beginning of the downfall for them. And the Cowboys were on their way up, and they still were kind of in the middle of the pack before the next season when they, you know, became the dynasty. So it was kind of like two teams going in two different directions. And at this point, the Giants were, you know, it was the tail end of the Giants' run, and the Cowboys were just starting it. So this particular, you know, in Tecmo, the Cowboys are, I mean, the Giants are definitely a more superior team. Aikman's going deep, and that was a nice play by the secondary for the Giants. Not a good start here for Dallas. And I'm rooting for, you know, I mean, I said I was rooting for the Raiders, but I'm also rooting against San Francisco. I don't have a problem with San Francisco in real life, but in Tecmo, they're just like the, you know, the gods. And, you know, I've done a lot of, you know, I've played a lot of seasons in this game, and whether I've played through them or, you know, just ran auto skips all the way through, you know, the 49ers are, you know, maybe, I mean, they make the playoffs 100% of the time. They win the division like 98% of the time. And they get to and win the Super Bowl about half the time or more. So, they're just, you know, they're the New England Patriots of Tecmo Super Bowl. Oh, and that missed kick keeps Dallas in the game. I mean, not that they would have fallen out of the game, but they would have been in a rough hole. You know, halfway through the second quarter, down 10-0. So is Emmett Smith hurt? I think Emmett Smith is hurt because he's not in there. That is a rough situation for Dallas. I mean, Emmett wasn't Emmett yet here. But he's still a pretty good running back in this game. Meanwhile, O.J. Anderson, who, you know, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl, but, you know, they made him out. He wasn't a speed demon or anything like that. I mean, he's not Bo Jackson in this game, but he's, he definitely is more fleet of foot in the in this game than he was in real life at the time. You know, OJ, And you know, OJ, he's Otis. I'll come to call him Otis Anderson, so I don't make it think I'm talking about OJ and OJ Simpson. Otis Anderson, he's Otis Jerome Anderson, I believe. So that's why he's OJ. He was like the second OJ. So anyway, Otis Anderson, when he first, and there's a touchdown for Otis. Fuck it, I'm gonna keep calling him OJ Anderson. Like you know, he's OJ. He's another OJ. He just didn't murder anybody. Allegedly. Anyway, the way he plays, you know, in Tecmo is more accurate to how he played early in his career when he played for the Cardinals. He was quite the beast, actually, as a Cardinal. Just not on any good teams. He was stuck with that situation, and, you know, he ended up getting shipped off to the Giants as, you know, the tail end of his career. Excuse me. And, had a good finish to it. Sims to the... Meggett fumbled. And it's Ken Norton. Dave Meggett, he's a piece of shit. I used to like him as a player, but my god, he ended up... He got all kinds of sexual assault run-ins. And I think he's in prison right now, but I think it's for rape. So David Maggot is more like it. Oh shit! Those reverses are not working. They gotta just give up. Just don't bother with it. There's a decent run there to make up some of that ground. Cowboys have to get a touchdown on this drive. Wow, almost got sacked there. Nice connection to Irvin. They get a touchdown here, and they'll be in, you know, they'll be in decent shape. No, don't do the reverse. What the hell? That was obviously a fumble. The referees blew the whistle. Blew it dead. Are they doing it again? Wow, what the hell is going on? Alright, there's something going on here with the audio. It's all fucking jacked up. Alright, we're back. I don't know what the hell just happened. I had to... it might have been because of the play that they ran, that little reverse, and they... I've never seen that happen before. Kind of at a loss for words. I'm a little like apprehensive right now. Just like is it gonna happen again? Is something gonna go down? Oh, here comes the blitz. Anyway, I'm ignoring what just happened here. So anyway, there was I'm just so distracted. So the Cowboys kicked the field goal, which gets them on the board, but they're, you know, they needed to. I would have gone for it if I were them, because there's not really a lot of time. You know, it's like to get back and score again twice. You know, it was. Oh, they mistimed that play. So they will get the ball back, and there is time. There is time to score, and then stop them, and then score again. But I mean, I would have gone for it just because I think that the odds were in your favor to convert, and then you only have to stop them and score once, as opposed to scoring twice more. There's only so many possessions in the game, especially with the accelerated clock in Tecmo. That was a nice catch and run by Highsmith. funny. The computer AI is fairly dumb. There was he had other guys that were definitely open. But you know, sometimes you see that in the NFL too, where you know a guy will just not pick up on those, not find the open guy. Yeesh. Pressure really got to Aikman. He threw it to the fucking crowd. Oh, here comes the whole Giants defense to take him down, and now it's 4th and 20. They're kicking a field goal. Yo, there's only 3 minutes and 15 left. You're gonna kick a 62-yard field goal? I mean, he puts it through, but you're still down. You're still down 8, and this is not. This is pre-2-point conversion era. I mean, you're kicking it onside, so you're admitting your desperation. See, going back to again, the AI, it's not all there. You know, running reverses in the end zone and going for field goals when it's out of reach. They don't, you know, it's not programmed to recognize situational football to a, you know, to the fullest. You know, like it's, and sometimes it does the. See, it'll kick a field goal. They kick a field goal there, but at the same time, if you're down 10. If they're down 10 and it's 4th down, they'll go for it a lot of the times when they're in field goal range, and it's like, what are you doing? With the same situation, 3 minutes left, they'll go for it, go for the touchdown. And I don't know if it was the distance, if it was the 4th and 20 part of it. I really don't know the you know, the guts of the AI's you know, oh shit, we're gonna have a scramble. Michael Irvin comes down with it and gets extra yards. See, now if they would have, I mean, yeah, I know 4th and 20 it was like that would have been a tough go, but you know, you got to take a chance at it because you're not gonna have time to score here. Maybe they do score here, but then, you know, then you got to kick it onside again and recover it this time. You know, what the hell is that Novacek in the corner there that failed to? Yeah, now they're gonna go for it. Why not kick a field goal now, though? See, again, here it is, exactly what I was talking about. It's a two-score game. I mean, touchdown is better than a field goal, but why are you going for it now? You know, a field goal would have made just as much sense because you're gonna have to score again anyway. Make it 14-9, and then kick it onside, and then you have to get a touchdown now if they recover it, which they won't. You know, maybe they could have kicked. That would have been something though if they would have scored there. But you know, if you go for it and miss, or then yeah, the game's over. Kick the field goal and that's it. Wow, so the Giants actually did not complete any passes. I know they ran some passes. They tried that flea flicker and shit, but all of their offense was the running game, 100% of it. The Cowboys having Emmett Smith out of the lineup did not help. I wonder if things would have changed, but you know, because the Cowboys only got 59 yards on the ground. They did outgain them in the passing yardage department, of course, because, well, the Giants just didn't complete any passes. They didn't run too many passes, but I know that I know that it wasn't just them feeding the rock to Otis all fucking day. Yeah, although he had a monster game, 177 yards. I mean, that was most of their offense, but they, you know, Meggett ran pretty well too. Either way, the Giants are going to the NFC Championship, and they'll play the winner of 49ers and Vikings, which I'm very comfortable in predicting the 49ers to win that game, but we'll see how it goes. This was a big rivalry in the early 90s. Bills and Dolphins. They played so many times. They played in a lot of playoff games too. So they play obviously twice a year. And then they played in several playoff games. During this, Jim Kelly versus Dan Marino era. Of course, Kelly in this game is QB Bills. Oh shit! And that is big break for the Dolphins. Thinking back to the games that we, I played against them. Both these teams, we ended up splitting games with both the Dolphins and Bills. The Bills games were both competitive, and the Dolphins games were both not so much. And the Dolphins get strike first. It's one of the Marx brothers, Clayton in this case, that scores here. And it is 7-0 Fish. We'll see if the Bills can shake that off. If anybody in the AFC can shake off something like that, it's the Bills. But this is a tough test for them. Dolphins are a good team as well. Here's a first down for Thermal Thomas. And Kelly scrambles to the 6. Yeah, I'm going to intermittently call him Kelly or QB Bills. It's kind of like, I don't know, I guess in the Tecmo universe it's, a lot of people like to call the nameless, not nameless, but, alternate named quarterbacks that are in this game, which are QB Bills, QB Eagles, and QB Browns. Some people will call them by their real names, and some will call them by their, their Tecmo names. And I kind of just go back and forth. But I look at it almost like, he's Jim Kelly, but QB Bills is like his nickname. And Marino scrambling, which is not something that he did much in his career. Oh man, everybody on the whole Bills front seven just came pouring in to introduce themselves to Marino. He had two guys open there, and he threw it past the open guy, and yeah, it wouldn't have been he wasn't past the first down marker, but he most likely would have been able to pick up the yardage before somebody was able to tackle. Threw it right over the open man and right into into the hands of the guy that was covered. Well, it didn't go into his hands. It went into Lofton's hands, though, this particular pass in double coverage. That's what happens when you have a good quarterback with good passing control, and then, oftentimes a good receiver will be able to make those catches, too. It's, sometimes, in this case, it was both. Jamie Mueller, that son of a bitch, had a huge game against us in the rematch. Lofton makes another catch, and now it's going to be 1st and goal. Those defenders are closing in. Everybody's covered. You know, that's one of those situations when, in Tecmo, when you have everybody covered, it's like, you know, the best thing to do is scramble, get out of there, because you can't throw the ball away. And you don't want to throw in an interception, especially in this situation here, where you're threatening. You want to do this. You want to score a touchdown. Thurman punches it in to give the Bills their first lead of the game. And, they've definitely responded after the Dolphins set the tone with that turnover, which led to the first touchdown of the game. And this Page breaking tackles. Look at this, he's shrugging them all off. He's in playoff mode. He's like, fuck this, I'm gonna put the team on my back. No guts, no glory. Dolphins looking for that glory. Clayton with the catch in coverage. What a play. Just threaded the needle there, because that defender was right there. Was right there with him. Page scores. Should be tying the game here. I hope this continues because you know, the first two games were not so competitive. I mean, you know, the Cowboys game was. I shouldn't say the second. You know, the Cowboys Giants game wasn't competitive, but you know, the Cowboys had to rally, and it was too little, too late. You know, they had a chance. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't a slaughter. The first game was a complete slaughter. The second game, the Giants had it in control for most of the game, and then the Cowboys, you know, made it a little showed some promise, but it wasn't enough. You know, bad decisions are a big part of it. But I hope that this game stays this course. And man, another catch by Lofton in coverage. You know, just keep throwing to him. Just keep throwing to him because he's just catching everything that goes his way. Going to thermal. Yeah, see that time. It's got to be Lofton. Lofton's got to be in excellent condition right now. Oh, and the draw play did not work. So here we go. 3rd and 12, 23 seconds. This is you're either going for the end zone or you're trying to make up some ground here to make a field goal easier, but you have to throw it sooner. So there's 2 seconds left, and they're going to try a long-ass field goal. Why not? There's only 2 seconds left. What's the worst that could happen? Scott Norwood with the long kick. And it's off the upright. Wasn't a wide right, but it was almost wide right. It did go off the upright. So it wasn't wide right, it was upright. That's what, you know, it's what happens when you have Scott Norwood kick in the postseason. It just wants to veer toward the right. Just too far to the right. If it was any closer to the left, it would have been good. We'll see if that is, we'll see if that comes back to haunt him at all. Marino running. Is it the first down? Marino in the gun. It looks like everybody's it's all go routes. Going to Clayton. And he makes the catch just over the reach. Just out of reach of the defender who was jumping up to knock it away. And Marino connects to give the Dolphins their lead back. looking to answer back. They blew that play up. They knew what was coming. Here's Thermal again. Oh, look at him go! Oh, another guy misses. No more guys are missing. Oh man, finally they bring him down at the 15. What a run. There's Mueller. Look at how, holy shit. There was no way he was that slow when I played against him. But he's still, even as slow as he was going, nobody, I think the Dolphins all went blind because they all dove at once and just missed him completely. I was piss poor on the part of the Dolphins. So here we go, 7 minutes left in the game, and it's a 21-21 nail biter. This might be one of those, you know, those games where the last team to score, the last team to have the ball is gonna win. And look at this, very next play after the touchdown. First offensive snap, Dolphins say, let's go back to Clayton, let's go deep again. And it worked. Dolphins answer right back, and it's 28-21. Wow. Let's see if the Bills can answer back once more. Look at this. Mueller makes the catch. Look at this. He had in coverage. There was at least one Dolphin on him, and then he just bowls them both over. So, you know, he's having a good day too, despite the fact that his speed is not there. He's still knocking people down. He's still shrugging people off. He's contributing. And now he's going deep to Reed. Oh, just out of reach. So here we go, 3rd and 3. It's a big 3rd down, and they're going to hand it off to Mueller, who gets the 1st down. So here we go, 4th quarter. We could see, could be looking at an overtime game here. And McKellar, the tight end, says, you know what? I want to make a catch in tight coverage too. And wide open in the end zone is Andre Reed. I don't know if the Dolphins just said, why bother covering them? They're just going to make the catches anyway. This might be one of those games where you know, it's like you try to drive down, you try to go for the score, but you also kind of methodically drive so that way you can time it just right so that your opponent doesn't get the ball with much time. But there's too much time on the clock right now for that. You can't really fuck around, you know. It's like you gotta score. And oh shit! Tony Page is hurt, and that is going to be bad news for the Dolphins. 2 of their runs go to Page. Oh, look at that, a miss. Almost sacked. Instead, he goes for the end zone, and Clayton is open for the touchdown. Wow. Just narrowly avoided that sack. And now it's with 2:40 left. The Bills are going to have to drive down to tie it. Stoyo's kicks haven't been that good on the kickoffs. But you know, if the Bills had made that field goal at the end of the half, they'd be only down 4, and they'd be driving to take a lead here. But now it's 2nd and 14. Well, 2nd and 14 with 2:14 left. The double 2:14s. And Thurman is open. That was a good job by the Dolphin defender of not trying to dive for it and just, stay the angle. You weren't going to be able to make that catch. Just make the sure tackle. Here we go, 2nd and 3 for the Bills. This is a first down. Minute 24 is plenty of time, but the Bills do have to get it in the end zone. They can't be kicking any field goals here. And oh man, that was the first time that I've seen in a while in this game where the Bills had a pass to a receiver who was being covered and the receiver did not catch it. Oh, that was a bad miss right there. First down. So here we go, 55 seconds left and first down for the Bills. He's going to get sacked. No, he gets it off just in time. Going for Reed. Incomplete. Dolphins are ready for him. 35 seconds left. They're going to run it to Thomas. Look at all the room. He's got... Oh, what a diving tackle. 20 seconds left now. First and goal from the 8. They got to... They can't be fucking around here. They gotta throw it. They gotta get this. And it's just... past him. 2 seconds left in the game, so this is it. And they're gonna run it to Thurman. And they take him down at the 1.5 yard line. Holy shit. What a finish. And Marino outduels Kelly with 264 yards. No picks by either team. But the big difference, because, I mean, it was all offense all day. Don't pay attention to those first downs because the touchdowns don't, there should have been more. When you score a touchdown, it counts as a first down. So there should have been more first downs for the Dolphins. The Bills should have had more first downs too. They were more methodical than the Dolphins. Dolphins went for the home runs a lot more. But look at Mark Clayton, 226 yards receiving. 5 catches. That is crazy. Bills distributed the ball a little bit more, Lofton made some catches, Andre Reed, Thurman, McKellar. There was, everybody got involved. But the difference was both offenses were brilliant, but the fumble at the beginning and then the missed field goal at the end of the half, those made a big difference. And the Dolphins will be moving on to the AFC Championship to take on the Raiders. And meanwhile, we'll be seeing the Giants taking on the winner of this final game of the Divisional Round, the Vikings and the 49ers. So here we go. That was a hell of a game. I'm hoping that this one is half that as competitive because I'm not too optimistic about the Vikings' chances of hanging around for this one. The 49ers are just fucking superhumans. But it's like and it's not a knock on the Vikings so much as it is just just how freaking amazing. Look at this, wide open Taylor for a touchdown. They're just gonna go right to work here. So, this would really be a huge, it'd be a big upset, not just because of how great the 49ers are, but, how bad the division looked for the NFC Central all year. For so long, everybody had a losing record. It just, they were all beating each other. Nobody was asserting themselves. the Vikings finally caught some fire toward the end of the season and, you know, made it to 9-7 finish. To at least have a respectable finish. And then they go and they win a playoff game, so it's a successful season either way, you know, no matter what happens here. That was not a good play there. The 49ers knew it was coming. But here we go, first down. For the Vikings, they get to the 21. They got Herschel Walker here. Oh man, the infamous Herschel Walker trade. There, those reverses, man. They do not work in this game. Especially if you're playing a human opponent. Steve Jordan from Brown University with the touchdown. And Wade Wilson, the late Wade Wilson, he passed away recently, like maybe a year ago or something like that. It was not long ago. So the Vikings tie it up. They're not gonna, you know, go down easy. Despite the fact that the Niners offense made it look like that it was going to be that way, and trying to set the tone in a dismal light for the Vikings early. But they came back and they scored, and now they're setting them up for a 3rd and 8. And they go to Rathman, but he gets taken down. So that was a good stand by the Vikes defense. Their defense is better than their offense. The Vikings, but you know, that's what you. If their offense can be, oh shit, so much for that. And Roger Craig is gonna pick up, and then the blocker out front. Wow, so much for that. The defense, the Vikes defense, makes this big stand. They keep the 49ers from even getting, you know, more than a yard really on that drive. And then on the punt return, just cough it up and then piss away the momentum that you were building up. And now look at this, just like that, it's 14-7. It's like it's one of those things. I go back to, again, comparing the 49ers in this game to the New England Patriots in real life, or how they were before last year. That you can't, like, so often breaks like that just go in the other way. And there's Herschel Walker, he was a Viking for a couple years. Meanwhile, the Cowboys got the better half of that trade. And now it looks like, yeah, the 49ers are feeling it. They're feeling the momentum swing, and they're going to get another sack. Keith along with 2 sacks in a row. 3rd and a country mile. And a pick. Montana with that quick release. I mean, it got knocked down, but I mean, they were blitzing through, and he just tossed it. Just running up the middle, 3rd and long. So the Vikings defense with another stop, they're doing pretty good. But you know, that fumble really set him back. But they're still in the game. They're only down 7. Penny with a nice 7-yard run. This would be big for the Vikings to double dip here. And it's Chris Carter. Oh no, this isn't Chris Carter. This is Anthony Carter. That's right. Chris Carter is a backup receiver in this game. This goes to show how you know, how times are different. I don't know if this was his first year with the Vikings or what, but Anthony Carter was the, you know, he was the original call, and Heath along with, he has 3 sacks now. He might have even had one before, but I didn't, you know, I wasn't keeping track of it before the, you know, his double back-to-back sack. I mean, look at this, everybody is covered. And they're gonna have to settle for a field goal. That knockdown might have prevented an interception. Fuad Reves puts it through. And it's 14-10. So there's still time here for the 49ers to score before halftime. The Vikings will get the ball to start third quarter. But there's a mountain of time here. Well, I shouldn't say a mountain of time, but there's more than enough for the 49ers because they can hit you with the big play at any point. And they keep going up the middle. And weird, you know, it's like a weird time to call such a play. Montana, he's got Taylor deep. He's gonna run it instead. And then, yeah, it's gonna be the end of the half. That was some poor clock management. But then again, like I've said before today, the AI in this game is not exactly genius level. It's like, I'm trying to think, like Andy Reid, as you know, as good of a coach as he is, time management is not his strong suit. Here we go, Herschel with a big return here to start the third quarter. You know who else is a bad time management coach is Herm Edwards. What a catch by Anthony Carter. And the Vikings are driving here. They can take the lead here. But Herm Edwards, who used to coach the Jets and later the Chiefs, I remember he was he also was the defender for the Eagles that returned the Miracle of the Meadowlands fumble for a touchdown. Let's see what happens here. Oh, you run the reverse on 3rd and 1, and it's gonna work. It was the first time that the reverse has worked all day. Wilson's gonna scramble and take it to the 1. First down. Oh, and they're blitzing him. Shit. So now it's 2nd and goal from the 7. And Fenny cannot get much there. Here we go. 3rd down, and they get stuffed. So they're going to have to settle for a field goal, and the 49ers preserve the lead. What a stand that was defensively. And they get it. And so it's a 1-point game. You know, this game has been way more competitive than I was expecting. Vikings would have the lead if it weren't for that that fumble on the punt. Anyway, Herm Edwards, I was gonna finish that story. He was so bad at managing the clock that he actually hired an assistant coach whose job it was only to manage the clock. He was the time management fucking. Oh, look at this! A fumble to the 49ers by the 49ers, and the Vikings catch a break. We'll see if that kind of washes out the fumble that they gave up themselves. Second and 6 now. And they're gonna do, oh, it's shit, it's that double reverse pass going to Carter in the end zone, and it's a touchdown! Wow. What a play. The Vikes take the lead, alright. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to see, you know, a competitive game here. The first 2 games, you know, especially the first one, not so much, but we had a really good game with the Bills and Dolphins, and now we're getting a much better game than was expected between the Niners and Vikes. Montana's got all the time in the world and connects to Rathman. Rathman. And another fumble. And the Vikings picked that one up too. Holy shit. And now Herschel gets the first down. Damn, if they score a touchdown on this drive, they'll be in excellent shape. Oh, look at it. Holy shit. Almost threw a pick. That's exactly the last thing they need is a pick. Even a field goal will put them up 2 scores. Oh, here comes everybody. Matt Millen with the sack. So it's 3rd and 20. Just don't lose yardage here. That's what. Oh, I may get sacked. Millen again. It's like they would have been better off handing the ball off there. So Fuad's gonna have a long ass field goal here to try to take the 2-score lead. And it's wide left. Wow, so the 49ers dodge a bullet, and look at this, they get some pretty good field position here. Nice defense there. Montana with the play fake. Oh, come on, you were right in front of him. Why did these defenders sometimes just stand there like dopes when the quarterback is right in front of them? It's like you're not in coverage, you're not doing anything. It's like they're in a zone defense that's, you just overthink it. You just stay in your zone. So here we go, 3rd and 3. It's a big 3rd down. And Montana's gonna scramble for the first down. This is Joe, he's not your average Joe. He's this is his specialty, the 4th quarter. The 4th quarter final drives. Oh, look at that, hit a brick wall. 3rd and 6 now. This is 4-down territory for the 49ers for sure. If they even get to 4th down. And, oh shit! Another fumble! And it goes out of bounds! Oh my god, they were scripted. But look at that, it went out of bounds backwards, so it's 4th and 1. And they take him down behind the line of scrimmage. Holy shit snacks. The Vikings once again have a chance to put the game away. Minute 24 with a 20-14 lead. Are they doing the reverse? They're doing the fucking reverse. And Jones is making people miss. He's got a first down. And he's at the 50-yard line. Now that's, it's not, the game's not over yet here. It's like there's, normally, yeah, it would be because the time could tick, but you can't run out the clock. A few seconds do tick, and the computer always calls the play right away. They don't think about running out as much clock as they can. And Jones with the reverse. These Vikings are the only team that can pull off these reverses, and it's another first down. Just let the clock run. You got 9 seconds. They're in the shotgun. And Wilson scrambles, gets tackled, and that is it. Holy fucking shit. The Vikings pull off a huge upset. It's, wow. They hold Montana to double-digit yards passing. Joe Montana was the leading rusher for the 49ers. This Vikings run defense really stepped up. And, the pass defense, too. They only gave up 1 offensive touchdown, and it was the first fucking play. After that, the only touchdown that the 49ers got after that was that return on the punt, the fumble recovery on the punt. Otherwise, it was it was just lights out. And it's lights out on the 49ers. They had the huge regular season, but the Vikings stunned them 20-14. And it was like I said, I gave the NFC Central shit all year. I was harping on them and joking about how the division sucked. And they come out here, and the Vikes have their big run at the end of the season. They get to 9-7. They finish with a respectable record, and then they have a more than respectable playoff showing. They beat the Saints. They just massacre them, and then they come out and beat the fucking 49ers. So very interesting. We're gonna have the Dolphins and Raiders for the AFC Championship, and then the Giants and Vikings for the NFC Championship. So yeah, that'll be next week's pair of games. It should be interesting. It should be a lot of anything can happen in this shit, as we've seen here. So we'll see you next week.